This is The Journey, podcast edition. If what you're building didn't come with a playbook, you're in the right place.
Welcome back to The Journey. Today we're digging into a collaborative technique for idea validation that I call the alignment method. This is a structured, cross-functional exercise that helps you and your team imagine the conditions under which a new idea, what we'll call a spark, would be the best possible choice for your customer. What I like about this method is that it structurally encourages collaboration instead of adversarial debate about which idea should prevail. So let's break down exactly how to run this. Step 1. You want to assemble the right group. Start by gathering a group of 3 to 6 participants. I find that smaller is better here. Too many voices can dilute focus. You'll want a diverse mix of people with different professional backgrounds. Someone from marketing, operations, legal, product, customer support, HR, whatever is really relevant to your idea. Make sure that you get a broad range of voices to put input into it. So this is really going to help uncover blind spots, and it really, I think, tends to minimize groupthink too, because you have different perspectives kind of participating in the same thing. You'll need a facilitator too. That could be you, but it's better if it's somebody completely neutral, not really invested in the idea. Their job's to guide the session, keep it moving, and enforce the ground rules. Optionally, you can assign a scribe to take some notes. This also could be an AI assistant or someone rotating in and out of the discussion. I find that people can also keep their own notes fairly effectively because with this method and the round table that kind of grows from it, not everyone is talking all the time. There's ample opportunity for folks to kind of jot down their thoughts as they're listening to others. Step 2. You want to prepare your idea. Before the session, get yourself together, collect your thoughts, prepare a clear, short explanation of your spark. If it's a complex idea, provide a written summary in advance so everyone can come to the table informed. If the customer for your idea is an internal one, like another department or a stakeholder group, make sure that you define them clearly too. And it's also quite useful to include someone from that group in the exercise. Step 3, set the stage. Book a quiet, distraction-free space. Block off 90 minutes to 2 hours, phones off, laptops closed, unless you need those to explain something. When you're done, put them away. Start by explaining the ground rules. This isn't a critique session. The group's goal is to construct an imaginary world where your idea is the best choice for the customer. So you're not talking about the idea, you're talking about the world or the conditions around the idea that make it the best choice. Everyone contributes equally in round-robin format at the start. What-if questions absolutely encouraged, and no debates at this stage. This is collaborative, not adversarial. Step 4. You want to present the idea. In front of the group, present your spark. Keep it concise, give space and time for clarifying questions from the group, but only those needed to understand the idea, not to challenge it. Once you're done, the facilitator asks the big question. What would have to be true for this idea to be the best choice for the customer? Then you can move into the next step, which is round-robin discovery. So in a round-robin style, each participant can share one condition that would have to be true. For example, for this to be the best, we'd need a 3-day turnaround in production. For this to be the best, customers would need to already trust us in this category. For this to be the best, legal would need to have signed off on the new data use. Keep going around the table, round-robin style, in turns, until the group runs out of meaningful new conditions. Then ask, does anyone want to revise or build on a previous contribution? At this stage, encourage gentle pushback or clarification, but again, avoid debate. This isn't about convincing anyone. It's about refining that imaginary world or set of conditions together to really drill in on what those need to be for the idea to make the most sense for the customer. Moving into the next step, this is where you want to take a reality check. So once you've captured all of the would have to be true conditions, the facilitator or the scribe reads them aloud alongside the original spark. Then ask the group, are these conditions reasonable today? Could we do them? Could we do this? If not, what would we have to change internally to make them real? Would anything have to change in the market? Are there any external conditions that would have to be different for this to work? Now, this is the part that's going to lead to open discussion. You want to make sure that everyone can contribute, but don't let anyone dominate the discussion. This really should be an open forum. Step 7, thumbs up or thumbs down. You want to end the session with a simple vote after all of the refinements and the debate and the discussion. Each participant gives a thumbs up if they think the idea is viable and worth pursuing, or a thumbs down if not. I find that sometimes it's also useful to conduct this via a secret ballot or a closed vote, where you don't necessarily see what everybody thinks. That can encourage more honesty at times, depending on the group. If there's anyone present who really feels that this won't work, and if you have done a thumbs up or a thumbs down and not a secret ballot, ask why. Capture those concerns as a part of the notes. They can be really golden for refining your idea later. If you do choose to do a secret ballot or a closed vote of some kind where you don't know how people voted, then as a part of that, you want the people to write down if they voted no, why not on paper, because you want to collect that data, that information all the same. The next step, and the final step, is the wrap-up. So finally, the facilitator or the scribe, they sit down, they prepare a summary of everything, they put it into a format that's easy to read, digestible, and it has some action points. This summary document should include the spark, a description of the idea, should also include the full list of the imagined conditions that the group came up with, any insights or callouts that came up from the discussion, clear takeaways or action points. And you want to encourage participants also to share any notes that they took individually to fill in some gaps. I find that this type of summary or wrap-up is best if it's shared in like a Google Doc or a Notion doc or something that the entire group can collaborate on and add some of their individual color to, just in case something was missed. So why does this work? This method works because it channels those diverse viewpoints into a shared creative act. It gets people imagining possibilities together instead of arguing over opinions. But remember, this isn't really suitable, or it's not really a great substitute for real market feedback. You're going to have a collaborative discussion. It's going to move forward your ideation and innovation a lot without investing time or money into actually doing it. But it's not going to give you a clear prediction on whether or not this will be successful. So you want to use this to refine and clarify your spark, but also do some testing with customers or take some further actions to really validate the idea before you put serious time or money into it. So that's how to run the alignment method. Try it out at your next strategy offsite. I find that that's a really productive use of the time, or product workshop if you're in that kind of an environment. Can really reveal what's missing, what's possible, and whether your spark is really worth the fuel. So that's it for this edition of the Journey Podcast Edition. Check out the link in the show notes for our companion post with all of the stuff that you can download to go along with this. Catch you next time.
And that's it for this episode of the Journey Podcast Edition. If you're building something from scratch or scaling something messy, make sure to follow, share, or just send this to someone else in the trenches. Until next time, keep climbing.